Yeah, okay. So we are online, and Andre will lead the agenda today.
All right. So, well, the idea was really to close the question about the left sidebar. So
Right.
we've had a number of emails back and forth, and I think we were reaching quite a final stage. And then, yeah, Prerna was in charge of coming up with a final list of 15, 14. I think I have them on an email from the 19th of February.
Right, exactly.
And then there was a reply from Amit, right? So I don't know if Amit, you want to comment on your reply. I know we had an exchange about that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my first response was that the left sidebar especially comes with a little bit of description. Also, I was wondering whether some links such as video is substantial enough. But anyway, Andre and I had a chat, and we decided that such descriptive. Some descriptive text could either be automated, but we should take care so that the effort from the editors go in the right direction, and such meta content maybe either can be done later, or be automated, or not done at all. I By here I mean descriptive text for every media. Also, we decided that there will be overlapping left media categories. So video could be one of them. It doesn't restrict putting other labels in place, and as a result, and we can shuffle between videos, and video being there and not being there, and any other label being there and not being there. So that also takes care of my other concern. uh, we can very well implement this, except a little bit. Something that I noticed is that we are also using small logos for every media category so far. So if we introduce a new ones such as art, news, events, videos, reports, and conferences,
I think we
then
can get rid of the labels. Amit, it's going to be too complicated otherwise.
yeah, yeah. So this is something we did not discuss, and in this, so I see in the same spirit, we can also get rid of labels. But Andrea, we have to make sure that we don't lose the depth in the name of minimalism. This might just so soon become an unfinished sort of look and feel. Uh, but that's okay for now. I mean, I can have either a generic logo or no logo at all. It's That's possible too.
Yeah, I don't see the labels. I mean, they're nice, but I don't see they have a great use. Maybe, I mean, that's my opinion, of course, but,
Right.
and,
No, surely. So with
My
that,
take is that, I mean, when it comes to the design language of the landing page, I think there's a discrepancy in between right hand side and left hand side. So left hand side we have logos, as you say, and then on the right hand side there are numbers. And overall, I think it's a bit confusing. But whether we go with logos and we add logos on the right hand side, or we can drop logos from left and then just go with numbers. I think the second one is more feasible.
yeah, numbers are certainly very easy to implement. I could do that, or no numbers whatsoever.
okay, so I think uh, there are 4 points we need to agree upon, find a to finalize. So first point is, are we happy moving the description? So building a single description of the content of the web page and put it on the landing page, and then eliminate the small introductions, thematic introduction that are now connected to the labeling on the left sidebar. Are you happy to substitute, to have like an overall description in the landing page where we say, we collect material about these different topics on these different kinds of media? Basically, that's what it would be. But then we would lose, of course, the topic by topic, not the topic by topic, but the media by media description. So that's point one that we need to sort out. Second one, well, we just said it, is do we eliminate the labels on the left-hand bar? The third point is, do we introduce...
sorry, the labels or the logos, Andre?
The logos, yeah, the logos, sorry, the logos to the left sidebar. And then if you look at my email from the 15th of February, I mean, the idea that was proposed was to integrate all the different labels, media labels, so there are plenty, there is about 30 of them, maybe more, on the email from the 15th of February, existing and new ones, so integrate them all. And then we select, so that's a third point. And the fourth point is, are we happy with the selection of 14 proposed by Prerna, knowing that this one is only temporary? I mean, that we can change that selection anytime. And the selection was made taking into account existing labels. So I think these are the four different points. To place them in general, the only thing I want to say is that of course, what Amit was trying to say, I think, is that for example, if you introduce a documentary, of course, it's not just a documentary, it's also a video, right? Same with a conference, it may be a video. If you introduce a course, it's also a video. So it's just about the level of generality that you want to give to the media, right? So, and I think we should give plenty of freedom to each editor to categorize each item in a different media category. But then, as editors, we should make an effort to give at least 2 or 3 labels to each entry. Right. So, for example, if we label something MOOC, we should also label it as a video. So if people look for videos, they will see MOOCs and documentaries and other, and movies. Or if they select just MOOCs, then they will just get the MOOCs. But I think that's the strategy I had in mind. So, and the philosophy behind is more freedom to editors, more detail, but conserving a degree of generality by using several labels for each entry that come at different. So same for publications. I mean, publication can be a book. So it's the same that we used to do before. We did it as a parent-child labels. Now we eliminate, everything is on the same level, but we still make an effort to give more than a label, like all the labels that apply to each entry.
Okay, got it.
And then, of course, this also allows us to add new labels. I think I added a new one a couple of weeks back. It was, I'm going to check. And I marked it.
I'll go with what, the three of you here and Prerna decide, obviously.
Maps. Yeah, I think, for point 4, which is the 14th labels. If we agree with what Prerna proposed on the 19th of February, then we don't need to, get her feedback again, because it was her proposition. If we want to make changes, then, the person, we can, come up with a new list and submit it to Prerna. So maybe one by one, what is your impression, Pallavi?
I get the idea what you're saying.
And I think we'll have to go, because when I look at the work that I have done, I think in many there is just one label. So we'll have to go back and edit it all, and okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be good to have, for each of us to have on the desktop the full list somewhere, in the background when we make an entry. The list that I put in the email of the February 15th.
Right.
And then, of course, for each entry, just, go through the list and select all that apply. Thailand?
Yes, I think this is feasible. So we are gonna do. Each editor is gonna take care of his or her own entries, right?
Yeah.
And go back.
Well, I don't know, Amit, should we have someone to do it, or you do it, or each editor goes back to their entries?
So currently, Andrea and I have permission to edit, or for that matter, relabel everyone's entries, while others have permission only to edit their own. So what we could do is we could set up a dashboard of all the entries so far, and create, instead of implementing this live, we could all collaborate on writing what we see as a good label for. So basically, if there are something like 320 entries right now, I create a dashboard of with all the 320 entries, and on right on a column next to it, we can populate the link. Once we have done all this on a dashboard, I can implement it on the web page.
So you're saying that each one of us, we go back to our entries and look what labels we can add, and we put it on that dashboard, and you'll implement it.
Yeah, or we could do it instead of everyone doing it on the website for the previous entries. Well, going forward, yes, it will be better to have the entire full list of all the labels that we have selected, and whenever you make a new entry as editor, you put more labels than just one or two.
Okay.
Which is a current paradigm. But for the previous, let's say 320 entries, I can set up a sort of a sheet where we have all the names, and all editors will be able to just suggest all labels right on that sheet. Once that sheet is done, I will make use of the information there to implement it on the website, so that as of today, whatever entries we have, the editors don't need to edit it on the
On the web page itself, but on the sheet.
It'll be somewhat messy, because different people will do labeling of their own, and there is a chance that something will get left out, or so on, even though.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if something is left out, Amit.
Because it can be fixed anytime later.
I think the important is that we enrich what we have, right? And of course there will be errors and leftovers, but it doesn't really.
I see.
I think we should go for the simple thing. I mean, I don't see the use of having a long list and everyone. When there will be a lot of, there seems to be a lot of repetition.
Okay, in that case, we can also ask the editors directly to edit their own entries. Relabel, or basically add new labels.
Yeah, and then I think as we do it, you will suddenly, it will become pretty automatic. Like that, whenever you have a project is going to be either innovation or research. Whenever you have news, is also going to be publication. Whenever you have documentary or a course, is also going to be a video. If you have a course, it's probably also going to be a MOOC if it is online, and so on. If you have an author, maybe it's going to be a scientist. If you have an NGO, it's also being labeled as an institution.
Okay.
Right.
And I think some of the labels will, eventually will die off if we don't use them often enough.
Okay. And maybe some new will emerge over a period of time. So
Yeah.
let's keep a live list, and well, if you want, then the editors can take care of their own entries, and we can begin thereof.
Are you happy with this solution?
Yeah, I think that works. Yeah.
Thailand?
Yes, it's feasible.
Right.
So it's about time, and maybe we can wrap up, Andrea, if you.
Yeah. So what about text on the landing page? I mean, moving all the little text that we have. I mean, this is, if we go for a new labeling, this is going to be kind of mandatory, because otherwise we will have some media labels with explanation and some without. I mean, the alternative is to introduce explanations for each of the categories we have. Which one do you prefer? I mean, should we make an effort and make a paragraph or 2 lines for each of the new and old labels, or should we go for an overall text in the landing page?
So maybe Pallavi, do you first of all understand where?
Actually, I'm actually looking at the website. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
So, for example, if you go on the website and look at one of the left links, which is the media, and for example, you click on any of the current labels, the media labels, which is, for example, courses, right? If you click on courses, you see on a dotted in a dotted box where there is some explanatory text. Right. Similarly, if you go on, I don't know, people, you see a sentence or 2 of explanatory text again, and this is all currently label specific text.
Yeah. So the question is, should we keep going this direction? So adding new gray boxes for each new label, or just have something more succinct, like a general introduction to what the website is about, and put it on the homepage?
When I look at the other websites that we see, I mean, shouldn't the labels be like sort of self-explanatory? I mean, will people actually go and read about each label?
Yeah, I think, and the more labels you put, the more you get an idea of what the website is about. We've been suggested several times to add an explanatory text in the landing page. I mean, Thailand had this proposition, Christopher was another one, and other people. Yeah, actually,
I still hold this position. I mean, there's no harm to put an explanatory kind of a box there.
Okay, so we have Thailand opinion. Pallavi is the labels are self-explanatory. So in I understand your view, the small gray boxes can go, right?
I mean, even how much there is right now is also good, but anything more than that, I don't know if people will actually read it. But right now it's very precise, 2 lines. I think that's enough.
Yeah, but you think we should introduce the same 2 lines for all the new labels, or just because we cannot do half and half? I mean, either we keep going
exactly. If you're going with it, then I think we need to have consistency.
Okay, but the alternative is to get rid of all the gray boxes and then just put the general explanation in the landing page of the web page. So that's the question, whether we go one way or the other.
I mean, I don't know, as an editor, because we understand the labels, it seems like, I mean, you understand what they mean, but I don't know what, for the people who are visiting the website, I think they're self-explanatory.
Okay. So you think we can get rid of the boxes?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Okay, so Amit, do you have an opinion there?
No, I'm okay either way. One of the options I will explore before completely removing them is also automatic um, basically a one liner which says that these are media categories related to the label name. So that's more like an automatic text basically. I will explore that that way.
Okay. So what I can prepare is an overview text for the landing page, and then we can decide whether we use it or not. But I can take the labels we have now, like the gray boxes, and try to make a single explanation for the landing page. Is that right?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So that's point one resolved. So I just and yeah. So then, which resource point two, which is to eliminate the gray boxes. And then next point three is the Amit, you should introduce as labels all the existing and the new labels into the Blogger so that we can use them, right?
Okay, yes, but it's not a problem. You can always write a new label. Just for the first time, it's not in the list till the time it's been given by the author the first time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean to say, if you, for example, don't see something called videos, for example,
Yeah.
you can try and just create a new label. But I can also do that. Yeah.
Sorry,
How
I
to create
again
new
I'm
labels?
yeah, I'm a little bit confused. The labels that we've agreed upon, you're saying we can add new if we feel something works, we can add a new one to it?
No, the labels that we have agreed upon are not all there currently.
Acha, okay.
So I mean to say, in order to introduce a new label for now or for future from within this list or outside of this list, you can simply write a new label.
And Amit, another important thing is that you try to, if it's possible, if you look into automatizing the fact that all the child labels become parent labels, not only in the labeling, but entry by entry.
Yes, I will look into that. Yes.
Yeah. So it's converting child labels into parent labels is point one. Then extending the label list to include all the labels we have from my email on the 15th. Okay. And then the last point is whether we agree on the 14 labels that Prerna suggested for the moment, knowing that we can, change them anytime.
Yeah.
Do we agree on this 14, or is there any suggestion that needs to be made?
I think for now, this is a good place to start.
Okay.
See, I just didn't like something like video because what is an alternate? An alternate to video, something similar to video could be what sound or audio. Now that's
Yeah.
not it's not substantial enough. It's not doesn't say much about the content. Well, everything is a video. Even this recording today is a video.
Sure.
So I wanted it to be more content driven a little bit than, well, I know these are media labels. These are not content labels, but the media, I mean, I think there is I'm not able to precisely point out what my problem is, but video is just too wide, I think, and it doesn't touch anything to do with the subject.
And if we add multiple labels to video, like one video and the other could be, I don't know, a conference or something.
Yeah.
Does that explain it better?
It explains it better, and that's the reason I had in my last meeting with Andrea taken my point back, but I just took the liberty of saying it again. But Pallavi, I think you're on the right track here. This is exactly what Andrea and I discussed in the last meeting, that even if we have something like video, there is no harm because we are substantiating it with other labels, and when the time comes for the other labels, and chances are keep refreshing the list on the left hand side, we will not miss out. I mean, there'll be just label called video, which will probably be less used or not used eventually. So it's not worrisome. It's not something we permanently live with. So yeah, so that was. I think with many labels, one of them video, the other more substantial, uh, this point becomes less relevant.
Okay, I mean, if we want to get rid of video, I propose changing it with articles, because we have plenty of scientific articles. So I think it's a substantial part of the web page at the moment, and it doesn't show on the list. So that would be a possibility, and I think it's a minor change. We don't need to, have another meeting about it. If we all agree now, I think we can, change videos for articles and move on, or keep videos. I mean, I don't mind really. It's just that at the moment we don't have any videos. I mean, nothing is labeled videos at the moment, so it would only become. But again, it's not something that we are implementing right now, because the first thing to do is to have all the labels available. The child labels become parent labels, and all the labels available on the Blogger. Okay.
Right.
I'm okay either way now. Even though I made the comment about video, I'm okay.
But I just have a question. Wouldn't it be easier for someone to know what kind of media type they are going into? I mean, are they going to read about a talk, or are they going to watch a talk? That's why I was wondering, should we keep the label video then?
Right, I see. So video is in a way tempting. It's low resistance to entry or something. Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still of the idea that at the end of the day, we should have all the labels running on the two sides of the web page, so that you get to see them all. If there are 100, you should see 100 of them, and then eventually, you this way you are learning what the web page is about. But anyway, we don't need to choose this right now. I mean, the priority here is that we have decided to get rid of the boxes. I'm going to prepare an overview text for the homepage, and then we move on to introducing the new labels into Blogger. Okay, and then once that's done, we get an email from Amit, and we can each editor can move back and update their entries, the labeling of their entries. Is that fine?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, good for me.
Okay, great. Amit, do you think you can do it next week?
Yes, Andre, I think. Yes, I think I can.
Okay, so if you send everyone an email when that's ready, then that would be the go ahead for all editors to relabel their entries, their old entries.
Right.
To enrich the labeling of their old entries. Okay.
Right. Okay. Sure.
All right.
All right.
Meanwhile, next week I'll prepare the overview text, and then I'll share it with everyone so that everyone can provide feedback. And
okay, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Great.
Good.
Okay, that's all then. It was a bit longer than planned, but I think we got to a good a common decision.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.